Showtime Sports.
Every fighter enters the ring with a plan. Some plans work to perfection. Some get mixed results. Others just go terribly wrong. And sometimes plans change, only to open the door of opportunity for another. Stage one of the tournament is complete. Now the stakes get higher, and the fighters must ante up. Arthur Abraham's impenetrable defense and devastating power have suddenly made him a favorite to win it all. But the combination of Andre Dirrell's slick skills and the hometown crowd could be the perfect kryptonite for this Superman. Tonight, it's athleticism versus power. America versus Europe. Dirrell versus Abraham. Stage 2 of the Super 6 World Boxing Classic is going to go according to plan. It's just a question of whose plan will it be? Welcome to Detroit, Michigan, a city steeped in boxing tradition, and it's only fitting that an arena name for one of the super legends of the sport, Joe Louis, is home to the Super 6 World Boxing Classic. The spotlight falls on local favorite Andre Dirrell from nearby Flint, Michigan. The slick 2004 Olympic bronze medalist will meet the tournament leader, Germany's hard-hitting and undefeated King Arthur Abraham. It's fight night in Motown. Hi everybody, Steve Albert in the historic boxing city of Detroit, a great fight town that is fighting its way back. Welcome to the beginning of Group Stage 2 of the Super 6 World Boxing Classic, and this is what 6 of the world's best super middleweights are fighting for, the championship trophy, which is symbolic of supremacy in the power-packed 168-pound division. Group Stage 1 is complete, and while some questions were answered, many questions have been raised. Can undefeated fighters Arthur Abraham and Andre Ward continue to be impressive? How significant was the split decision win by Carl Froch over Andre Dirrell? All questions to be pondered as we begin Group Stage 2 tonight. Scoring of the group stage is as follows: 2 points for a win, 1 bonus point for a KO or TKO, 1 point for a draw, and no points for a loss. After one stage, King Arthur Abraham is on top with 3 points by virtue of his dramatic knockout of Jermaine Taylor. Carl Froch and Andre Ward are tied for second. Froch with the controversial split decision over Andre Dirrell. Ward upset Mikkel Kessler in masterful fashion. The newest member of the Super 6 is power puncher Alan Green, replacing Taylor, who withdrew from the tournament. Green, who felt he belonged in the Super 6 from the beginning, will have his chance to prove it June 19th against Ward. The 4 highest point totals advance to the single elimination semis and finals. Now, interestingly, when you look at the latest odds on winning the tournament provided by sports handicapper Danny Sheridan, Andre Ward has jumped to the top of the list at even money, followed by the tournament points leader Arthur Abraham at 8-5. Carl Froch is listed at 4-1 odds, and next month he will fight Mikkel Kessler, who's 7-1. Andre Dirrell is 15-1, while the Super 6 newcomer Alan Green is at 50-1. Now for more, let's go ringside as we welcome in Al Bernstein and former light heavyweight champion of the world, Antonio Tarver.
Thank you, Steve. Well, you know, a couple of major stories have emerged from Group Stage 1. One is that every fighter held on to their home turf advantage. The other is that Andre Ward and Arthur Abraham, with their performances, kind of separated themselves from the pack. Antonio, what was it about their performances that did that?
Well, first with Arthur Abraham, you know, he's shown the power that I don't think anybody else in this tournament has. One knockout power. He can end the night in 1 punch. And Andre Ward, what can you say about the masterful performance that he put on Mikkel Kessler, who was the previous favorite to win this tournament? I mean, he can do it all: counter punch, punch, and move. So it has him everyone's favorite to win this event.
And a good performance also by Carl Froch, of course, in winning his match. Not his best performance, but it was a winning one, and that's all that matters to him. Now, we have a new entry into this tournament because of Taylor's exit. It is Alan Green, a 29-1 fighter with 20 KOs from Oklahoma, who brings not only a powerful punch but a powerful personality to this tournament as well. And he's a fighter really that I think has something to prove in this competition. What does he bring to it?
Well, he does have something to prove. He feels that he got slighted in the beginning with not being chosen to participate in the Super 6. Now he has his chance. He wants to show the world that he should have been chosen all the while, and he's amongst the very best super middleweights. So he's hoping this entry is very sweet for him.
And you sparred with Alan Green, which gives you a little more insight into what he's all about.
Yes, he was a younger guy at the time, but still had the talent, still had the skills, and he's growing up now. He's matured a lot, so we're going to see how far he can go in this Super 6 tournament.
All right, we will indeed, and he's going to be involved in the next stage. So let's take a look at the schedule for Group Stage 2, which begins tonight with Andre Dirrell versus Arthur Abraham. Coming up on April 24th, WBC champion England's Carl Froch travels to Denmark to fight Danish favorite son Mikkel Kessler. And on June 19th, Andre Ward squares off with tournament newcomer Alan Green. Both Kessler and Green are looking for their first points in the tournament, by the way. Now, for tonight's text message poll, when Group Stage 2 is complete, will Arthur Abraham be alone in first place? For that, text the word alone. Be tied for first place, text the word tied. Or not be in first place, text the word not. We invite you to send your responses to us here at SHOWZ, that's 74699, and standard text messaging rates do apply. Now, as we head into Group Stage 2, the fact is the stakes have been raised for these fighters, for some more dramatically.
Yeah, especially for the fighters that had a victory in this tournament so far. They're pretty much cruising into the semifinals. But those guys that don't have a victory could find themselves in a 2-fight and a 1-fight must-win situation. So it's time for them right now to get on the board. They're in desperate need of a win.
Pressure's on as we head into the next stage. Now, let's go to Jim Gray.
All right, Al, thank you very much. I am here with Andre Ward and Alan Green. Alan taking the place of Jermaine Taylor. Alan, you guys will fight now on June 19th. What about you coming into this tournament now, having to make up ground and possibly facing the best fighter in Ward?
I mean, I'm not going to sit there and act like the task at hand is not a tough task. I'm looking forward to the fight. I'm very excited about being in the tournament, taking Jermaine Taylor's spot. You know, as everybody knows, I felt like I should have been in the tournament anyway. And I'm very excited at the opportunity to become a WBA super middleweight champ.
The fight was supposed to take place April 24th, and Andre hurt his knee. Do you feel as though he could have fought and that the fight should not have been postponed?
Well, it's like this. I mean, it's a lot of things that I said in a lot of interviews about his knee injury, but at the end of the day, I'm not the one with the injury. So I really don't know what's going on. I really can't too much comment on what's going on. I don't know the severity of his injury, so I really can't make a comment on that. All I care about is as long as he's in the ring June 19th, and I'm fine.
Having not fought in the first round of this, do you have to get busy right away? Is there an air of desperation just coming into it at this point?
There's no pressure. There's no pressure. A lot of people saying, okay, I'm facing a point deficit because of Jermaine Taylor. The wrong idea is to go into this tournament thinking about points. I'm not going to this tournament thinking about points. I'm strictly going to this tournament thinking about victories, and that's it.
All right, Alan, hang on a second. We're going to get your pick tonight. Let's bring in Andre. Andre, first of all, the postponement of the fight. How is your right knee?
Right knee is in work in progress. We'll be ready June 19th. You know, it's a situation where coming off the major knee surgery is something that I always got to be on top of, and we're doing it. We're working at it.
What is your reaction now to, after one round, being termed the favorite of this tournament?
Well, I appreciate the compliment. It's a great thing that people are saying, but I got a lot of work to do. And that's always been my mindset, even from a young kid. You know, we had a great victory November 21st, but I still got a lot of canvas to work on, and I still got a lot of work to do. So I'm looking forward to this fight June 19th.
And Alan Green's very dangerous. What concerns you most about him?
Well, he's on the other side of the ring. So whether it's Jermaine Taylor, whether it's Alan Green, he's a threat. And he's coming to take what I have. So I take that very personal. And again, I will be ready June 19th.
Abraham Dirrell in just a couple of minutes. Who do you like?
It's going to be a good fight. I think if Dirrell fights a disciplined fight, stays focused, and doesn't get caught up in the crowd either way, I think he can pull out the victory. But we all know Arthur Abraham is very dangerous, but that's the beauty of this tournament and the beauty of boxing. You got to come in and tune in and see what happens.
So you're picking Dirrell?
I'm going with Dirrell.
And who are you picking tonight?
Well, you know, the way I feel about this fight is it's conceivable that Andre Dirrell could move around the ring and outbox Arthur Abraham very easily, just like he did Curtis Stevens, because he's very talented. He's the better athlete, more athletic fighter. The question is, does he have the focus and the discipline to do this for 12 rounds? That remains to be seen. If I was a betting man and had to bet on this fight, I would probably have to go with Arthur Abraham. I'm pulling for Dirrell. I'm pulling for Dirrell because I like Andre. I know him from the amateurs. But I may have to go with Arthur Abraham for this fight. But I want Dirrell to win.
All right, thank you very much.
It's a hard decision for me to make.
I understand. It's a hard decision for everybody to make. That's why they're going to fight here. Gentlemen, thank you both. We'll see you June 19th. Back to you, Steve.
All right, thanks, Jim. WBA champion Andre Ward versus ultra-confident Alan Green. Really looking forward to that one, which has all the elements for fireworks. The Super 6 World Boxing Classic is just one of the premier attractions on Showtime. The Emmy Award-winning Inside the NFL begins its third season on Showtime in the fall, and along with first-year series Inside NASCAR, provide exclusive insights into America's favorite spectator sports. Fight Camp 360 inside the Super 6 World Boxing Classic follows this groundbreaking tournament with behind-the-scenes access to fights and fighters. Strikeforce and Strikeforce Challengers have made a major impact on the world of mixed martial arts with some of the best action in the cage. Showbox, the new generation, our showcase for boxing's rising stars, has featured 40 fighters who have gone on to become world champions. As Showtime Championship Boxing is about to celebrate its 25-year anniversary, we proudly present on May 22nd Vasquez Marquez 4. Their first 3 fights made boxing history. Now they fight once and for all. And it's all here on Showtime.
You're watching the Showtime All Access free preview. Hurry and order Showtime now for a special offer. The free preview ends Sunday. Call 1-888-SHOWTIME or go to sho.com/order for details.
This monument, a tribute to former heavyweight champion Joe Louis. The Brown Bomber was raised right here in Detroit. Local product Andre Dirrell hopes to do Louis's memory proud. That said, fighting at home can provide a significant and sometimes decisive advantage. Be sure that Dirrell is a lot more comfortable in Detroit than he was in Nottingham, England, where he lost to Carl Froch. But tonight, there is also added pressure on Dirrell. Arthur Abraham, on the other hand, seems comfortable regardless of where he happens to be fighting.
I was surprised in airport. 100 people coming to airport and Arthur, it's very nice.
It's my family in Los Angeles. Yep. My sister, my uncle,
In diese Tage mache ich nur aus dem Gefühl heraus. Wir gehen am Mittag laufen, bloß dass du im Kopf mit klar bist. Alles klar? Gut.
Was hat gesagt, Bruder, zu mir?
I think only Andre Dirrell, no more. Dirrell is very smart fighter. He don't like fighting. He go on running. I can stop him.
Lass ihn auf den Rücken, dass nicht so viel Platz kriegt. Nee? Immer wieder am Denken.
Niemals. Ich habe doch gewettet mit Ihnen.
Nein, du wolltest nicht mehr. Viel gar nicht diskutieren. Yes. So viel gar nicht. Jetzt bin ich wieder gespannt.
This is the #1 trainer of the world. He don't like kiss. I am 30 today. I have in Los Angeles very big family. In every country of the world you go and this home fight. This is something special, no? In American, Armenian people is beautiful. I hope I win. Next day is a big party too. America give me one chance to become a big boxer. For me it's very important only to win. I am ready for everybody.
We are going to our childhood, the neighborhood. Every block probably has one, every childhood, a witch house. That was the witch house. This is elementary school, they just closed it down. I didn't even know until now.
It really is heartbreaking to see your city deteriorate like it is.
This was our house. This was the house that once was. Assembly lot. My father wasn't in my life. I remember coming one time on my 11th or 12th birthday to pick us up. We all had pizza, we played a little basketball, and that was it. And happy birthday, and he took us home, and I wouldn't see him for 7, 8 more birthdays. I sit him down one day and asked why, because I got a right to know. We learned to jab in here. We learned to cross in here. We learned to bob and weave up in here. This is where it all started at, man. My grandfather had us do hops. We had to do hops just like this. Duck walk. The stairs, every step, yeah. Running around here for an hour straight. He just really pushed us. He really pushed us.
I seen the greatness, and these kids didn't have no father. I made sure I stepped up to the plate with them, and it all paid off, and I enjoyed every bit of it.
And I believe I am at the top of my game right now, all because of this man. He's still pushing me. He's still on my tail. Every step of the way, he's still right there. Car Frost doesn't get under my skin at all. I talk to numerous radio stations, sportscasters. I've talked to many people, and they believe I won the fight. So, you know, I can look at that and move on with confidence into my next fight. Abraham's coming over to America now. I have a lot more to prove now, so I'm going to get in that ring, and I'm going to fight him with the best of my abilities. Hopefully he brings his A game, because I'm bringing mine.
Go!
I come to watch them, make sure they're on their game. I come as often as possible. The only other thing I did besides boxing at Burst was tap dance. And we used to go just like this, clap step, heel, clap step, heel, clap step. I got memories of the wazoo of this place. I keep this place open if it took my last penny. Because this is where it's at right here. This is where it's at.
Coming up next, two fighters who personify the spirit of the Super 6 World Boxing Classic. Andre Dirrell versus Arthur Abraham. American versus European. Hometown hero versus visiting villain. Sizzling speed versus prodigious power. Yes, get ready for stage 2 of the Super 6 World Boxing Classic from Detroit. But first, let's see how you voted on tonight's text poll question. When Group Stage 2 is complete, will Arthur Abraham be alone in first place? 53% said yes. Be tied for first place? 32%. Not be in first place? 15%. Any reaction, Hal?
Well, a lot of confidence in Arthur Abraham during the course of this poll, that's for sure. And why not? He performed so well in Group Stage 1.
All right, Steve Albert back ringside with Al Bernstein. And Is Abraham overconfident, and does Dirrell feel a sense of urgency?
Well, you know, for Abraham, he shouldn't be, because he's facing the most elusive and clever fighter he has yet to face as a professional, and certainly the quickest. Now, for Dirrell, part of the reason why he's got to feel urgency is the fact that if he were to lose this fight and dig a hole for himself, he would maybe need a knockout to get in his next fight to get to the semifinals. He's not a knockout puncher.
All right, now let's turn to Magic Man, former world champion Antonio Tarver. What's the best strategy, Antonio, for Dirrell to deal with the unique boxing style of Abraham?
Well, Steve, I think after breaking this fight down, I think Andre Dirrell has the perfect style to beat Arthur Abraham. He's long, he's rangy, he's going to need to continue to keep a stiff jab in his face. He has to throw combination punches and not stand in front of Arthur Abraham and do not exchange, because that'll be dangerous for him to do that.
All right, a most intriguing matchup. Let's see how it unfolds. Arthur Abraham looks to strengthen his tournament lead and maintain his unblemished record. Andre Dirrell, well, he desperately needs a W. Yes, lots on the line as we are set for the ring walks. Let's go to our ring announcer, Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, the time has come for stage 2 of the Super 6 World Boxing Classic. Please welcome the principals as they make their way to the ring. First, here is the tournament points leader from Berlin and the former world champion, King Arthur Abraham.
He's the favorite, unbeaten King Arthur Abraham, not used to walking first, Armenian-born, Berlin-based, lusting to be a star in America, relishes the rock star treatment in Germany, his fans with the Armenian flags. The hostile environment here shouldn't be an issue for Arthur. Remember, he went to Edison Miranda's adopted home of Florida, won by impressive knockout, and now King Arthur enhanced his intimidating reputation with the sudden spectacular KO of Jermaine Taylor, the only knockout thus far in the tournament.
He's a powerful man. You know, with all those Armenian flags being waved, even with the boos, this environment is not quite as hostile, I think, as he might have anticipated. He is a powerful man, and you know, the question of him moving up to 168 was, would he carry his power with him? We saw it in group stage 1.
Well, he's hearing a chorus of boos now as he makes his way through the ropes. And it is almost deafening. He does have some fans here, as Al pointed out. The thing about Abraham, Antonio, he doesn't know what it's like to lose. How much of a factor is that?
That's a serious mental advantage for him, because these guys that has losses on their record, they know how to lose. It's foreign to him. He's never lost, and he's determined to keep his perfect record intact as he moves forward in this Super 6 tournament.
Supremely confident, which comes from a granite chin, crushing power, and a never surrender mentality. Back to Jimmy Lennon Jr.
And now, here is the U.S. Olympian and former world title challenger from Flint, Michigan, introducing the Matrix, Andre Dirrell.
Into enemy territory. This time he hears it from this partisan crowd. What an exuberant reaction from these fans. The athletic Andre Dirrell from Flint, Michigan, just 65 miles away. But this only the second pro fight in his home state, his first in Detroit. And it is a huge step up in class. The question is, Al, did he learn from that loss to France?
Yeah, I think the big thing he needed to learn was not to have those lulls during the course of the fight and not lose focus. He's got to be focused for 12 full rounds, or he will pay the price against Arthur Abraham.
Dirrell has to win this fight if he truly wants to be a marquee name. And Antonio, you just don't get these opportunities very often. He's got to make the most of it.
Yes, he does, Steve. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Tonight, he can shake up the Super 6 tournament by beating the favorite tonight, and it'll be a whole new tournament. You know, we think Abraham has a good chance of advancing. He can put his name on top of that list tonight.
Andre Dirrell hearing the fervent support from his hometown fans. Will he be the second American and the second Andre to pull off a Super 6 upset over a European? Stay tuned. Let's check the numbers as we go to the tail of the tape. Abraham, who turned 30 last month, 4 years older than Dirrell. King Arthur, the shortest fighter in the tournament at 5'9", a 4-inch height disadvantage. However, he does have long arms, so only a 2-inch disparity in reach. And the key unified rules. There's no standing 8 count, no 3 knockdown rule. A fighter cannot be saved by the bell in any round. If an accidental headbutt causes a fight to end within 4 rounds, it's a no decision. After 4, they go to the cards. If a punch causes a cut and the injured fighter cannot continue, he loses by TKO. So here at Joe Louis Arena in Detroit, Dirrell versus Abraham, Group Stage 2, Super 6, set for the official introductions. Let's go up to our ring announcer, the classy Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to you, and welcome to the world-famous Joe Louis Arena here in the Motor City of Detroit, Michigan, for the featured bout of the evening, brought to you by Gary Shaw Productions in association with Sauerland Event, the MGM Grand Detroit, Corona, and Showtime. This bout is sanctioned by the World Boxing Council, President Jose Sulaiman, supervisors Mauricio Sulaiman and Rhonda Utley Herring. Along with the Michigan Unarmed Combat Commission, the chairman is Dr. James Weber, vice chairman Wolfgang Mueller. Our physicians at ringside, Dr. Hisham Ahmed and Dr. Peter Samet. Timekeepers at the bell also keeping count of the knockdowns, Joe Collins and John Foran. Now introducing our 3 judges scoring this bout from ringside. From Bergamo, Italy, Guido Cavalletti. From Lincoln Park, Michigan, Frank Garza. And from Bangkok, Thailand, Anik Hong Tong Kam. And our third man to the ring, a referee in charge who will be giving instructions after the introductions, Lawrence Cole. All right, fans, here we go with the main event of the evening, the Super 6 World Boxing Classic. 12 rounds of action scheduled in this very special super middleweight special attraction. And now, ladies and gentlemen in attendance and boxing fans joining us around the world, live from Detroit, it's showtime! Introducing to you first on my right, fighting out of the red corner, wearing black trunks with green trim and entering the ring as boxing's pride of Flint, Michigan. He weighed in at a ready 167.5 pounds. His record stands at 18 wins, 1 defeat, with 13 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the 2004 Olympic bronze medalist and the current WBC #2 ranked world contender, known as the Matrix, introducing Andre Dirrell. And his opponent across the ring on my left, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing black trunks, fighting out of Berlin, Germany, by way of Yerevan, Armenia. He weighed in at the super middleweight limit of 168 pounds. He is undefeated in his campaign in the ring with a record of 31 wins, no 25 wins coming by way of knockout. Ranked the WBC #1 super middleweight contender, please welcome the current Super 6 tournament leader and the former IBF middleweight champion of the world, introducing the undefeated King Arthur Abraham. Once again, a referee in charge, Lawrence Cole, now to give instructions.
Wagner, Arthur, Anthony. All right, gentlemen, I gave you instructions earlier in the dressing room. Obey my commands. Protect yourselves at all times. Understood? Touch them up. Good luck from glute.
Joe Louis Arena, home to the 11-time Stanley Cup champion Detroit Red Wings. Tonight, Hockey Town is Boxing Town. Super 6 style. Will Dirrell be over anxious on the big home stage, or will it be a source of strength? Can he elude Abraham's punishing power? Will he turn this into a track meet? Can Abraham handle Dirrell's exceptional speed and quickness? Will it affect his ability to throw his power shots? We are just about ready for the bell to begin round 1, scheduled for 12 in Super 6 Group Stage 2 action. The difference in hand and foot speed will be immediately noticeable. Dirrell, a natural southpaw who switches seamlessly back and forth, starts as a lefty, feels he's more powerful as a right-hander. Abraham can change a fight with either hand, but a notoriously slow starter. Not concerned about digging an early hole, and typically turns up the heat in the second half of the fight with hopes for late fight drama. We'll see what happens tonight.
True to his word, Dirrell, as you pointed out, did come out as a lefty, and right away he started to try to go to the body. He thinks he can land there against Abraham, and he thinks Abraham doesn't like body punches. We'll see.
Abraham, from my experience in calling his fights, does not like body punches. He does not like infighting. He usually stays outside in that high peekaboo guard and then bursts in, does his damage, and then comes out.
Yeah, it seems early on that Dirrell is definitely focusing on the body, and that would be good for him if this fight goes long, because that's the only way he's going to bring Abraham hands down, is to attack that body.
Antonio, since Abraham's early punch volume is usually slim, how critical is it for Dirrell to put rounds in the vault early, to really let his hands go, even if he's not landing cleanly?
Well, it's very important because it gives him confidence in this fight. You know, that's what he needs right now. He needs to know that he's able to win this fight boxing his style.
There's a little red mark on the left cheekbone of Abraham, courtesy of a very nice right hook that Dirrell threw. Not that big a deal, but it shows at least he was able to get something in early against Abraham, against that defense.
Dirrell has to be very cautious. Abraham doesn't throw as many punches, but his punches are usually more effective. Some felt Andre was overly concerned about getting hurt against Carl Froch. Makes you wonder what's his mindset against a ferocious puncher like Abraham.
Well, you can tell they've definitely been working in the gym. He's not moving unnecessarily. You know, all the moves that he's doing now is great movement. He's not running, he's boxing, and he's right in front of Arthur Abraham.
You know, the thing about this, though, is we've seen this movie before. We've seen it so many times with Abraham. You blast away for 3 or 4 rounds, and you look great, and then something terrible happens to you. So we'll see.
And again, this is nothing unusual for Abraham, this particular kind of start. Abraham in the black trunks, Dirrell wearing the black with the green trim. Final seconds of the opening round. A right hand by Dirrell pushes Abraham back as Dirrell switches back and forth. Let's check out your keys to victory.
Well, when Abraham gets in that turtle shell, he simply can't be hit to either the body and the head. And on foreign soil against a quick boxer, he can't give away too many early rounds. He did that already, playing defense, and he has to burst out of that shell and throw combinations, not single punches. For Dirrell, Abraham allows you to put early rounds in the bank, as he did round 1, and you need as many as you can get. Dirrell has to throw his combinations, then move a little bit. If you stay put, Abraham can smack you. And it's hard to hit Abraham, but Dirrell can get frustrated and take foolish chances.
Joe Louis Arena in Detroit, the scene of Group Stage 2. Local favorite Andre Dirrell facing German-based Arthur Abraham. Tremendous excitement here in the arena. A highly spirited crowd getting behind their man Dirrell.
I'm sorry, Steve. Abraham said the first time he hits Dirrell, he thinks Dirrell will start really running and moving. We haven't seen Abraham throw a power punch yet.
And he does have power, particularly in the right hand, but he's not a one-punch guy. He also has a freight train left hook. And the knockout punch against Jermaine Taylor in Berlin was started by a wide left hook. He also has a very good jab. He's a better skilled fighter, is Abraham, than a lot of people think.
Andre Dirrell is doing something in this fight that's really good. He's looping his left hand and his right hook. That's why he's getting it in against the Abraham defense a little bit better.
And you know, he's not throwing his punches, he's mixing his punches up to the body, to the head. So Abraham right now really don't know where the punches are coming from. And believe me, they're getting in. You see the welt under his left eye.
Dirrell starting to throw 1-2 combinations, which is a good sign. Right there, and that was to the body. He is much more effective when he throws punches and bunches. There's a long right hand that sent Abraham back. Dirrell has a fast and stiff jab. He's a very good counter puncher. You want to counter punch Abraham if you want to land flush, but it's hard to counter against Abraham because he pushes you back with those hard punches.
Less movement from Dirrell really than I think I would have anticipated in round one. And there's one right hand by getting in by Abraham.
I like what I see. Dirrell is countering real good. Every time Abraham opens up, he's hitting with a right hook, and then you saw the straight left hand that he popped him with just now.
But I will say, fellas, I saw the same thing in Berlin against Jermaine Taylor.
This is a rerun, so we just have to, honestly,
let it play out.
Hang on to your hats till round 5. And, you know, and for Dirrell, it's important. He's winning this round just like he won the last one.
Taking nothing away from Dirrell. I mean, he's looking good here in the early going. And finally, Abraham lets loose. When Abraham starts coming forward, that's when he means business. But a good combination by Dirrell on the return. Dirrell looking very impressive.
And a lot of those body punches blocked and head punches blocked by Abraham, but he's getting some in. Abraham's not throwing any punches, so obviously these rounds are Dirrell rounds.
And Abraham often complains that he's being hit with low blows. You see, he keeps those elbows so low and so tight, but he does let a little opening underneath the elbows, and oftentimes his opponent has to stray. And when he is hit with borderline shots, sometimes he turns to the ref to complain. That's when you pop him. Round 2 of the books, a man who is synonymous with boxing in Detroit, the Hitman, one of the all-time greats, former world champion, hometown hero, Tommy Hearns, involved in the biggest fight here at Joe Louis Arena, August 2nd, 1980. He KO'd Pepito Cuevas in the second to win the welterweight belt.
He won't last long.
Deep breath, baby. You're working that body perfect now.
Yeah.
Start being careful because you know you start to come on the 3rd and 4th round. So keep working his body as long as he's sitting back, okay? Up and down, controlling him up top with your jab, man. It ain't got to be a hard jab. Just strong, you know, controlling him.
Keep working him open.
Yeah, keep that open. You're working good, though.
Keep doing what you're doing, baby.
I won.
You won both rounds so far.
And the mother of Andre Dirrell, Lola Dirrell, on hand, cheering on her son. And we're set for round 3 from Joe Louis Arena. Dirrell off to a very good start. He's 18-1 with 13 knockouts. Abraham 31-0 with 25 knockouts.
The thing that Arthur Abraham's style allows Dirrell to do is switch without fear of being hit when he switches. See, there's such a long period here between Abraham punches. He can switch on the outside and not worry about getting hit when he switches.
Dirrell's looked good, but he cannot take any rounds off.
Abraham's lunging with his punches a bit, and that's a little bit uncharacteristic.
Dirrell getting through. He's punching through that guard and landing.
Yes, he is. Abraham is swelling up on both eyes, and Dirrell is fighting a beautiful fight. Can he keep his composure, and can he continue to win these rounds rather easily?
Abraham does swell. He doesn't cut much. Of course, the first fight with Edison Miranda, he had his jaw broken in 2 places, fought that way for 8 rounds and won.
Finally, a really strong jab by Abraham. You know, in the fight recently between Pacquiao and Clottey, who fights much like Abraham, started out this way, and of course, everyone felt he would eventually throw punches. Didn't, but it would be very unlikely for Abraham not to get busy in a few rounds. But we'll see. Dirrell's doing some terrific work here.
You notice there's no urgency in the Abraham corner. They're used to seeing this. They figure by around 4 or 5, their man will start gunning.
And there's that strong jab from Abraham. And the reason we talk about Abraham's toughness, he fought Edison Miranda and had a broken jaw in round 3 and fought the entire 12 rounds in that fight. So it takes a lot to really hurt him.
Still has 2 titanium plates in his jaw, so he literally has a steel jaw.
Abraham finally unloading a couple of punches, but not many.
And Dirrell is still focusing on the body. He's landing some crisp shots, but we know Abraham will come and he's going to press. And let's see, can Dirrell take it when it's time? It's his time.
Andre Dirrell's doing something great too in this fight. Oh my! There's the big right hand.
Right hand by Abraham.
How it affects him
from a long distance. Now he's coming forward again. Much more aggression from Abraham. Big right hand. Another right. Another right. A left hook missed and a left uppercut got him.
And that's the inexperience we see with Dirrell. He must pull out with his hands up or step aside. Don't pull straight back.
You don't want to get involved in big exchanges with Arthur Abraham. That is for sure. And don't stand in front of him.
He's doing that right now, Dirrell. Let's see what happens.
Here, Willie. Andre. Hey, you're gay. Box, Andre. Don't fight. It's gay. Where's the water at? Andre, it's scary. Box.
I got it, Gary, man.
Comment ça? Huh? Comment ça?
Hey, look. Make sure you keep that jab like Andre. When you want to fight.
It was inevitable Arthur Abraham at some point in this fight was going to land an important right hand. It came here in this round 3. That was a good one. And Andre Dirrell, to his credit, while he was stunned momentarily, and look, you see him touching his eye. Later in the round, another right hand would come from Abraham. Dirrell did not motor away from him. That's the same right hand. And he didn't motor away from him, stayed and engaged him in his corner, chastised him for that.
And it's round 4. A big bounce back round, last round for Arthur Abraham, particularly towards the end of round 3, as he nailed the hometown Dirrell with a couple of big right hands.
Here's the question about that last round, though. Did Abraham win that round?
I think he did. I think he did
just barely if he did.
He landed the power shot, snapped his head back a couple times. But, you know, fault Dirrell because he should have had his hands up. Keep your hands up at all times.
A lot of that swelling on Abraham's face is the result of his own gloves being pounded back into his head.
Yeah, I agree. And, you know, let's remember what happened in round 3. 2 big rights from Abraham. It didn't knock Dirrell down. It didn't stop him completely. So can he take those punches? Maybe.
Not all night.
No, not all night. You're right, Antonio. Too many would be bad.
There's that multiple jab by Andre Dirrell.
Now we're getting more movement from Dirrell.
Yep, more shoulder movement.
And that's good. I still like to see his hands up a little bit, though, because you never know when Abraham is going to shoot one of those wide punches.
Antonio, would you try to go through Abraham's gloves or fake to the head and go to the body, go wide?
Just like Dirrell did just now. You know, you got to keep your jab up there. And he's boxing effectively. So don't give up, even though Even though there's no clean shots landing, don't give up on your jab.
The one Abraham weapon that is not being used enough is the jab, but part of that is because when he threw his jab in the first couple rounds, Dirrell countered him very effectively.
Less than a minute remaining in round 4.
You know, if Andre Dirrell had thrown this many punches against Carl Froch, he would have won that decision by a lot. He just didn't throw enough. But then it's easier to throw against a man who's kind of just coming in with his arms up than like Froch, who was aggressively throwing.
Now the right hand
by Abraham.
Oh, unbelievable! Left hand down goes Abraham for the first time in his career.
6, 7, 8.
But 15 seconds left, favoring Arthur Abraham. 10 seconds left in the round. Can Dirrell finish him off here in the 4th?
I don't think Abraham is hurt that bad.
Johannes Berendt, the German interpreter.
Call Alpha. Call. Call. Be quiet. You need to get in there. Gloves up and go in there. Not from the outside. A shocking development, this knockdown. Now, Abraham came in, and he was just leaving himself wide open against Dirrell, and then Dirrell landed a perfect straight left. Part of the reason why that was a knockdown is because of Abraham's balance, but it was a very strong punch by Andre Dirrell. Now, these are the kind of firefights that you would think would create a problem for Dirrell, but a good straight left hand was the ticket right there.
Andre Dirrell always feels that he has more power on his right. Well, guess what? The left ain't too bad either.
Yeah, it looks like Arthur Abraham got, was a little bit off balance when the punch landed, but it definitely was a clear knockdown. What I want to see from Dirrell now is composure. Stay calm, because Arthur Abraham was not hurt severely from that punch.
We know how mentally tough Arthur Abraham is. This is the first time he's ever been on the canvas. We'll see if that has any effect on him.
And Al mentioned earlier that the corner work, that they had seen this before. They've never seen him down, and it seemed as if they were panicking a little bit over in the corner.
Yeah, you're right, Antonio. That is different for them, and Uli Wegner had to say, be quiet to one of the corner people. Now, they told Andre Dirrell in his corner, don't get overconfident, which, of course, is excellent advice.
Minute gone by, round 5. Things calming down just a bit after that frenetic 4th.
And remember, we talked about Dirrell taking these early rounds. He certainly has won 3 of the first 4 rounds.
Big right hand by Abraham. Back comes Dirrell.
That was a great exchange. Dirrell landed the harder punch with the hook.
And he continues to fire away, pouring it on. He's got Abraham on the ropes. Abraham is not effective on the ropes. When he backs up, he stops throwing, and this is when Dirrell can outwork Abraham. And he is.
All those punches are landing. Those are power punches. And you know what? We questioned Dirrell's chin coming in. He has taken the leather from Arthur Abraham so far.
And Dirrell has to be careful. Look out now. Referee Lawrence Cole coming in cautioning. Dirrell has to be careful to stay cool, stay composed, not get out of his game plan as he did against Carl Froch.
Yes. And he's using this elusiveness right now very well. Abraham is reaching, and these are great counterpunching opportunities for Dirrell.
Those punches not getting through the gloves of Abraham.
But they look good in the judge's eyes.
The judge.
He's busy,
Exactly, which is exactly what we pointed out in the first round, what Dirrell should do.
Well, Arthur Abraham's throwing so few that inevitably these rounds will go to Andre Dirrell.
No question.
And we never thought about, what if this gets to the 6th or 7th, 8th, and Andre Abraham needs a knockout to pull this win away.
How dramatic would that be?
Wow.
Yeah. And right now, Dirrell is well in command. He's got a 10-8 round on the books, too. Final seconds of round 5 in what is shaping up as a terrific fight.
Shots, man. If he's not gonna punch back, I want you still in that body every time, man, so he can't come on late. And we're gonna take him out about the 9th or 10th round, man. I trust you. I promise you, man. You hear me? And more jabs. And keep a strong base. Don't lay back. Keep the jab working. Deep breaths. Control your breathing. Control your breathing.
Andre Ward, an interested spectator on a little scouting mission, too, because eventually he's going to get in there with his former Olympic teammate, Andre Dirrell.
And tonight, while he's rooting for him, he's also thinking ahead. But they're Olympic teammates, and right now he'd like to see his man win.
And he picked him to win.
Yes, he did.
He was talking to Jim Gray. All right, round 6. Joe Louis Arena in Detroit. It has been a good one. Low blow there by Dirrell.
You push it.
Lawrence Cole was behind Abraham. I don't think he saw it, Al.
Time!
Crowd going, but that was a low blow.
And that's what happens when you fight Abraham, because he covers so much of his body, you end up going low.
He gets protected by the refs, a lot of people feel, in Germany, but we're not in Germany anymore.
No, that one did stray a bit low.
Abraham's going to have to definitely be more aggressive right now. He's going to have to mix it up. But it's hard to catch a rabbit. I mean, this guy's doing some phenomenal footwork and being very elusive right now.
It's going to be interesting to see now if Abraham becomes ugly and rough. If he starts retaliating.
We're going to take a look at the total punches as provided by sports media for us through round 5, and that gives you such a graphic idea. 153 landed, a 561 for Andre Dirrell. Only 47 landed out of 128 for Abraham. So Dirrell's out punching him 5-1 basically in terms of punches thrown.
In the Taylor fight, after Taylor threw a low blow, Abraham started to retaliate with some rabbit punching. So far, he's not resorted to those roughhouse tactics against Dirrell.
But, you know, even with the low blow, it hadn't deterred Andre Dirrell from going to the body. And he's landing some great power punches down there. But like I said, I always am leery for guys leaning back with his head up in the air like that.
You know, now this fight for Andre Dirrell is such that in another couple of rounds, we all worried that this might be the Andre Dirrell track meet. Well, it hasn't been, but it could be from round 8 to 12, and it would probably get him a victory because he's getting close to a situation where he could be a total boxer and win this fight.
And he's eluding those looping left hooks. And there's another grimace by, yeah, that was borderline, but it was a grimace by Abraham, who will do that a lot.
You've done a lot of NBA, Steve, and you know the guys that are going to look for fouls.
Right.
Those combinations are beautiful. They're racking up points. And, I mean, Dirrell just boxing his fight. I knew that he had the style to do it, but did he have the mental strength, to consistently do it round after round?
He is so focused right now, which is not easy to do when you're home because there are a lot of distractions.
That was a great left by Dirrell. He's throwing punches with enough authority to make Andre Abraham think about rushing in. And Abraham is just not punching.
He's doing something slick right in the middle of switching. He's dropping the straight left hand off Abraham, and he hasn't been able to get away from it.
6 in the books. Another interested spectator. How about a look at Alan Green, a newcomer in the tournament who replaced Jermaine Taylor, who withdrew. He's going to fight on June 19th against Andre Ward. And, man, is he pumped for that one.
You need to go to the middle. Go to the body. Arthur, come on, you need to hit first. Come on. Do the uppercut, do the uppercut. You throw too many ball punches. Remain straight, keep straight. Come on, Arthur. You're giving it away. Keep your hands up. Keep your...
Suddenly the sense of urgency is now in Abraham's corner. Famed German coach Uli Wegner, typically very animated and feisty. He's never been in this kind of a position with Arthur Abraham before. Little slippage.
Time.
On the logo,
right
it's there's too much moisture on that logo in front of the Abraham corner, and it usually winds up getting slippery.
Thank you.
Unofficially along
time in.
press row.
There's Marvin Goodwin from the Oakland Presser in Michigan, George Kimball from Sweet Science, and Lubrich from the Berlin paper, and they all have it very dramatically for Dirrell. I have it 59-54.
Including a 10-8 round in the fourth when a left hand sent Abraham off balance to the canvas. First time ever down.
That means if press row is correct, another 1 or 2 rounds like this, Abraham would definitely have to have a knockout to win.
Which you can't rule out.
And as this fight has gone on, Dirrell has stepped up the lateral movement. And it's an interesting plan because, you know, he knew he would probably do well in those early rounds. Didn't have to move as much, or so he thought. Took 2 monstrous right hands from Abraham. And now he's in a position where the lateral movement is all important.
Coming up to the midway point of round 7. This one's flying by.
You know, I made the reference to the Clottey-Pacquiao fight, where we all watched that fight and thought that Clottey was going to eventually come out of his shell and punch. You would think Abraham's going to, but this fight's taking on the same twinge.
Little throwdown. Is this reminiscent of Carl Froch?
You know what? That punch landed behind Dirrell's head. I think he was hurt with that punch.
Well, I talked about it before. The rabbit punches by Arthur Abraham against Jermaine Taylor, retaliating for the low blow. There's blood now on the chest of Arthur Abraham, maybe coming out of his right eye. Have to get a closer look. Continues to sting Abraham with nifty combinations.
That was a hook right hand, and it landed beautifully and flush. And it was right in the middle of a switch. And Arthur Abraham looked like he's bleeding. He has a nasty cut over his right eye.
There it is. And he doesn't cut very often. And they've got a new cut man in his corner, Julio Spaioli, who replaced Malcolm Garrett.
And you know what's important? It wasn't a headbutt. That was a right hook that landed. A left hook, I'm sorry.
Now, a lot of blood around the right eye of Arthur Abraham, but as we said earlier, here's a guy who fought nearly an entire fight with a broken jaw, so this isn't going to bother him. That's going to be no, not a knockdown. Not a knockdown. Dirrell thought he had a knockdown. He thought maybe the rope saved Abraham, but Lawrence Cole ruled otherwise. And Leon Lawson, furious, says it should have been a knockdown.
Arthur, you fired one right to the body. Do more to the body. Come on. Don't start with a left hook. Start with a straight right. Left uppercut, straight right. Come on. Otherwise, we don't have a chance anymore. Come on, Arthur.
It's 5:31 a.m. in Germany tomorrow morning. And this is only the second time Abraham has fought in the United States when he stopped Edison Miranda in Hollywood, Florida back in June of 2008. That was a lot easier. He's having his difficulty here with American Andre Dirrell.
You would think that the power punch edge in a fight like this will go to Abraham. Not so. Dramatic edge for Dirrell, 166 to 34. And why not? There have been so many more punches thrown by Dirrell.
Yeah, he's focused right now, and you know, if he can keep this up, he's putting out Abraham behind the 8 ball. He's going to need a knockout, and he cannot catch Dirrell.
And remember, Andre Abraham's not used to being the stalker. He's used to being a counter puncher when people throw and then he counters. So he's put into a difficult position here on many levels, Abraham.
The cut looks to be on the right eyebrow of a desperate Arthur Abraham now. And the blood is getting into his right eye. So it is not a good cut.
That's beautiful boxing by Dirrell, up and down, the movement. I mean, we all knew he had athleticism to win a fight or beat anybody in this tournament, and tonight he's doing it.
And now he's also showing power too tonight.
Abraham had him against those ropes. Did he land anything of significance?
You don't want to be in the corner.
He got to get out of there. He got to get his hands up. He has to move.
He's trying to show bravado by doing this to see if it works.
It's a mistake.
Stop! Stop! Lawrence Cole with a warning for putting his glove out there to Abraham.
Get in the middle of the ring. That's what he was telling Dirrell. And get off the ropes.
And that just saved Dirrell. Dirrell has a tendency to gravitate to the ropes, and that's the worst thing you can do against Abraham.
Now, to his credit, Dirrell was able to escape disaster during that period and fend off Abraham, but it's not something I think he wants to do a lot of in the last 4 rounds of this fight.
Not recommended.
No.
And what's different about this fight, in the Froch fight, he was catching a lot of those punches, holding and grabbing. But if you watch, as Abraham gets close and opens up, Dirrell is punching, and he's beating him to the punch sometimes.
Yeah, it's a good point. A really good point, Antonio.
Big right hand, a counter right by Dirrell.
And Abraham landed one at the same time. Exactly. He did better.
I think Abraham's was harder.
And Dirrell's still standing.
Yeah, that's a major headline in this fight.
Dirrell showing a lot of macho here this evening. And now he's moving side to side. This is what he has to do.
Yes, and we said if you have to win this fight ugly, by all means, win it.
Any way you can.
Arthur, listen. Go with the uppercut. You have him now. Come on, 1 more minute. Don't do the hooks too often. Go to the body. Left uppercut, right uppercut, left hook. Go to the body.
We will show you a punch chart that will demonstrate where the punches were landed in the last round. The red punches are Dirrell, the blue are Abraham. And you can see that when Abraham had him against the corner, the ropes, that's when he landed his share of punches. Many of those were, in fact, body punches. And Dirrell, more and more, is now gravitating to those ropes, and that's a big issue.
And that's exactly where Arthur Abraham wants to get him. We swing into round 9, scheduled for 12. Group stage 2 of the exciting Super 6 World Boxing Classic tonight from Joe Louis Arena in Detroit.
One of the keys to victory that I put was that Abraham needed to land not single punches, but combinations when he burst out of that shell. He's not been able to do that. He lands those one big punch and then nothing else.
That's it. And, you know, he's not a combination puncher tonight.
Right.
He can't slow Dirrell down. He's moving too much, which is smart.
Nice combinations to the body by Andre Dirrell. And again, now a left hook. He's in the righty position.
And Tony, you made a good point. Abraham's not throwing combinations tonight. Normally he does, but the speed and elusiveness of Dirrell is making that difficult for him.
Now he switches to southpaw, bounces around on the balls of his feet, confusing Abraham.
Even in the Taylor fight, Abraham had a great jab in that fight, and it was able to set up his power punches. Tonight, the jab has been null and void.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And he's been countered when he does throw that jab, and the blood is flowing from that right eye.
Streaking down the right cheek of Arthur Abraham.
Arthur Abraham has never lost a pro fight, and in fact has never really been that close to losing a pro fight.
Andre Dirrell is fighting a brilliant fight right here.
He sure is. There's the jab from Abraham, and again, but it's been so infrequent.
Abraham faces a bloody mess right now.
Oh, he popped him. A straight left counter punch by Dirrell. What a shot.
And that was the counter punching I was telling you about that he didn't do against Froch. He's doing it tonight, and you know, he's hurting Abraham tonight with those shots.
Yes, he is. Anthony, right there.
They're stopping it for the moment because of the cut. They want the doctor to check it out.
That's a very bad cut, and if this fight is stopped right now,
Can't treat it, just look at it. Good night.
Dr. Hisham Ahmed.
Hey, Doc, you can't treat it, you just need to look at it.
the doctor cleaning it and putting pressure on it.
They're taking an awful long time.
Yeah. It's an interesting point you make. You are supposed to clean it, but putting pressure on it actually helps close the cut.
Like I was saying earlier, if this fight is stopped right now on a cut, because the referee never indicated it was a headbutt, Dirrell could be looking at 3 points tonight.
Shades of the first Abraham-Miranda fight back in 2006, when they had all kinds of controversy with the ringside doctor and the referee. Minute to go in round 9.
Now
Abraham stopped. Abraham stopped. And let's see if Dirrell can do anything about it.
He was complaining about a low blow, and Dirrell did exactly the right thing. He went after Arthur Abraham.
Why is he complaining? Why does he stop fighting complaining?
We talked about that in the fighter meeting yesterday, and Dirrell said, I'm with you. I know that he does that. He stops and complains. That's when I'm going to nail him.
That was a better idea for Abraham. Throw the right hand.
And he landed that right hand over top just now.
It's probably more advisable than stopping fighting and complaining to the referee. And remember, Abraham's a powerful man, so don't count him out of this fight.
Oh, no question about that.
But he's winging those punches. Those aren't knockout punches that we're used to seeing from Abraham.
I agree. Yes.
He's winging those arm punches right now. That's not going to get it.
But right now, Andre Dirrell is fighting the blueprint to beat Arthur Abraham. Yep. There it is, a straight right hand, but there wasn't a lock behind it.
But there was a hook behind it, and that was different than what we've seen. You're right, Steve. And he's got to throw more than one punch, Abraham, if he's going to do some good.
And he had the opening, too.
Ja, nur die Frage, ne? Was denn die Anschuss? Pass mal, und wartest du. Geh doch zum Körper rein.
Go to the body.
Das ist doch viel leichter.
Come on, Arthur, it's much easier. Go to the body.
Mann, bleib auf den Mann. Wie das im Sparring gemacht hat. Junge, du musst das alles. Mach doch zu.
Come on, close it. Go to the body.
In round 7 is when we believe this cut started, and it's become a thorny issue for Arthur Abraham. It was that straight left hand. And well, there's a head, clash of heads between Dirrell and Abraham. And now there's blood, so the interesting thing is that may have come from a clash of heads, though it was not ruled. Yeah, there's the blood. It was not ruled that way, but it's conceivable. Good job by the folks in the truck to catch that one.
And that is somewhat unusual because Abraham does not cut very often. The reason he was bleeding so much in that first blood-drenched Edison Miranda fight was from a laceration inside the mouth, and it was from a broken jaw.
Boy, is this deja vu for Team Sauerland. Nickel Kessler came to the United States and lost partially because of a clash of heads, although certainly Andre Ward was dominating him. And now here's one of their other fighters, and the clash of heads has a big impact again with a cut.
I'm not going to say the clash of head caused that cut. I mean, the referee didn't call it. In Abraham, normally when you get hit with a headbutt, you grab that eye spot immediately. And I didn't see Abraham try to wipe it away.
He didn't grab it, but the blood did start at that point, so I don't know. It's not decisive.
He didn't complain.
No, but
nice straight left hand there by Dirrell that pushed Abraham back unofficially along Press Royale.
Well, Marvin Goodwin with the biggest margin, and George Kimber from Sweet Science, and Jorg Lubritsch from the Berlin paper with the closest of the three.
The point I was trying to make, Al, is that Abraham has complained with every low blow. Wouldn't you think he would complain if he felt like he got headbutted and it caused a severe cut?
He could indeed, yeah, except the reason I think to suspect it might be for that is that the blood started flowing at that point. So that's the question, I guess. I've got the fight, I've got an 8-point edge for Dirrell at this point in the fight.
Look out, down goes Dirrell, but it's not a knockdown.
That was a solid punch that landed.
Yeah, I don't know why that's not a knockdown.
Lawrence Cole did not rule it a knockdown.
Yeah, I don't get that. And Dirrell is a little stunned right now. That was a bad call by Lawrence Cole. I don't know how he missed that one, honestly.
You know what he saw the feet get tangled, and he called it that way. He did call it by way of the punch.
Well, maybe he's right. We see the replay, but right now Dirrell's got some problems.
I think it was a combination of things, but I think a punch did get through.
Oh my!
Dirrell looks weary right now. Abraham's feeling like
he
looks his opportunity.
He looks like a deer in the headlights all of a sudden, Dirrell.
And you know, this is dangerous for Abraham too, though, because he can walk into a counter punch the way he's fighting.
Yeah, Dirrell is still throwing counter punches, but he's leaning back as Arthur Abraham is getting closer. That's dangerous for a puncher like Arthur Abraham.
Approaching 20 seconds left in an interesting 10th round.
I'll say.
Was it a knockdown or not?
Abraham's showing some powerful punches. We could feel those as they were right above us. And good body punches as well.
A very tenacious straight right hand by Abraham. Final 10 seconds of the 10th. Center of the ring.
And how about the cut is not bleeding right now for Arthur Abraham. That's amazing.
A boost of confidence for Arthur Abraham at the belt.
Who'd have thought all this was going to happen in this fight?
Okay.
Andre. Do not relax 1 second from this guy, man.
Keep your fight in the center of the ring, son. Do not get on the road, whatever you do. Okay? Now,
Arthur Abraham had himself quite a round. Now, here is where the feet do get tangled up, apparently, when that apparent knockdown happened. Well, their feet did get tangled up. A punch did send them down. How much was the punch? How much was
it looked as if Arthur Abraham's foot was planted and it was just placed behind. I think it was the punch. Yeah, you have to call that a knockdown.
I think you do, because he did trip over the foot, but it was the punch that put him down. It's hard to tell. A judgment call, I guess, and Lawrence Cole said no. Which would have been very big for Abraham, a 2-point round. Yeah,
he needed that.
Well, that kind of evens it up, because earlier Leon Lawson thought Dirrell had another knockdown.
Yeah.
There is a knockdown in this fight. Round 4, a straight left by Dirrell that sent Abraham down. Now he complains again. Borderline shot.
I don't know why Arthur Abraham does that. It's interesting. He's a warrior. He's tough as nails, and yet for some reason he feels called upon to do that in every fight.
And that straight left hand is still a big weapon for Dirrell. He's on his bicycle right now, but he got to keep his defense tight.
Round 11. Now, tremendous fight.
Excuse me, Steve. Dirrell is 0-1 in 12-round fights, and Arthur Abraham is undefeated 5-0 in 12-round fights. But Dirrell fought very well in the last few rounds against Froch. See how he does here.
There's a nice body shot by Dirrell. One and done. Now he's getting pinned against the ropes. Is Dirrell has to be careful.
And Dirrell's very smartly holding on the inside. And that's okay, because guess what? Even if they took a point away for holding it at this point in the fight, it wouldn't have hurt him that much.
He lost a point for holding in the Froch fight late in the fight. He slips again.
Oh, that was a foul. That's a foul, and if he's knocked out, Abraham should be disqualified.
Let's see how Cole handles it.
He is knocked out. He's trembling. He's out cold.
I'm getting the doctor up here.
Oh, he's in bad shape. Needs a doctor. He's trembling. His leg is shaking. He got hit hard
Get up here.
as he was down. Abraham should be disqualified.
Yes. He got punched when he was
He
down.
is knocked out cold.
Abraham's disqualified.
There's the doctor.
You hit him while he was down.
He is disqualified. The referee just said it. He is disqualified.
He was on one knee. I said, no. Fight's over. You lose by disqualification.
That's it.
Okay?
You heard it. Lawrence Cole said to Abraham, you lose by
The
DQ.
danger is obviously the condition of Andre Dirrell. I mean, when he had no defense, he took a monstrous right hand.
A monstrous punch from a monstrous punch. And this could turn into mayhem.
Yeah. Be careful. His brother Anthony is there trying to get over to
Where's the security at? Where's the security? They can't have these guys running in the ring like this.
Exactly.
And that is his brother is
well,
up
this is
there.
emotional now.
Yeah.
This is very emotional. His brother Anthony, a former fighter himself.
This is bad because you don't want to see this happen to a young guy, a young fighter, because these are the punches like this that fighters never come back from.
Especially an Abraham punch.
Tragedy.
And let's see, perhaps, hopefully, Andre Dirrell will be okay from this, and it won't have any lasting effects. But that was a rough one.
Well, he's just shaking the cobwebs now.
And for Arthur Abraham, that was a giant mistake because this fight was still within his grasp.
It was, and he let it go.
Yes.
You don't see professionals. The experience that Abraham have make mistakes like this.
Look at what he did against Taylor with 15 seconds left. He knocked him out. It was
the fight was within his grasp, and that we see a lot of it. We do see it sometimes when fighters are a little desperate, and Abraham was a little
frustrated because he never could have his way tonight. He never could have his way.
He's just never been in this position before, and he was out of sorts. And thank goodness, Andre Dirrell got up.
We'll go back and reassess as Andre Dirrell thankfully is up on the stool. From the overhead, you can see it. Andre Dirrell slips on that. Now, he actually was a slip and a punch. Now he's completely down, and he is nailed by Arthur Abraham. And Lawrence Cole was pretty far away from the action.
But he called it right.
He did call it right.
This reminded me of Montel Griffin, Roy Jones Jr.
Yeah.
You have to disqualify the guy.
Yeah, that's a very good analogy. But the thing is, you hope that Lawrence Cole might have been there to stop it. There's no question he's on the ground, and Abraham should not have thrown that punch.
He was way behind. He was down in the fight. He was frustrated.
And another thing we should think about, what if this fight would have happened in Vegas? Abraham would be in the jeopardy of being suspended right now.
And there it is.
Well, it's an issue right now. Clearly, it should be a disqualification, and thank goodness Arthur Abraham didn't throw another punch.
The red rope was blocking it somewhat, but it looked like it was square on the jaw. That right hand when he was down.
How many points does Dirrell accumulate from a disqualification win?
It's the first DQ
of the tournament.
Super 6, yeah.
Okay, don't worry.
Andre Dirrell.
It's 2 because it is not a knockout, so he gets 2 points for the win.
This is why we fight the fights.
Yeah,
Alice,
you
never know.
So right. We wouldn't have expected several things.
You put that together, man. That was a beautiful shot. You put that together, man. Keep your hand on, man.
The professional that Dirrell is, the sportsman, the athlete that he is, he's hurt because he had to win by disqualification. He wanted to win this fight going away.
Being hugged by his promoter, Gary Shaw. We're just so pleased to see him standing up on his own power. And it's very emotional for Andre.
One more look at it will demonstrate what we saw before. And, there's a punch here that misses. He slips on that logo. And by the way, that logo was a thorny issue all night. And that's a big right hand.
And sort of a delayed reaction here.
Yeah, he's out. You can tell the way he felt. But what scared me was his legs started trembling as he was going, as if he was going in convulsions or something.
That's almost the way Jermaine Taylor looked when he went down. against Arthur Abraham. His eyes were closed before he hit the canvas.
Yes.
Let's get it up to our ring announcer, Jimmy Lennon Jr. A lot of commotion in the ring, so we'll stand by for Jimmy.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time of 1 minute 13 seconds into round number 11. A referee in charge, Lawrence Cole, stops the contest due to an intentional foul. He is the winner by way of disqualification. The Matrix, Andre Dirrell.
A fight Andre Dirrell desperately needed to win. I'm sure he did not envision winning it in this fashion. Second upset in the Super 6 as another European loses to an American on United States soil.
And so far, the record of people protecting their home
court is undefeated.
Continues, yeah.
Andre Dirrell hands Arthur Abraham his first loss.
Thank you very much. Andre, you won the fight. He's a little confused as to what has happened here. Hold on a second. We're just trying to get him the information. He's not certain as to what has gone on. Andre, are you allowed? Can you talk?
Please stop talking to me, man. Okay. I got man. Okay, man.
Do you know what happened?
I got dropped, man. No, you didn't.
No. You won the fight. We'll come back and talk to you in just a moment when you are able.
I was down, man. He hit me when I was down.
That is correct. You won by disqualification, Andre.
Is this speaker, man? Please tell me the speaker, man.
Okay, we'll come back to you in just a few moments when you have a little bit time to recover. Let's walk across the way and get Arthur Abraham and see if we can get him to ascertain what happened from his position. Arthur, can you tell me, Arthur, what happened from your vantage point?
Yeah, I don't know. He no go down. He is so, and I give him one punch. And this is, I think, not disqualification. This is normal. I can beat him. He go no down.
So you don't feel as though you should have been disqualified?
Yeah, that is for me not good disqualification. This is for me very bad. Maybe, I don't know, that is the referee.
Let's bring his interpreter in, Johannes Barrett. Johannes, can you ask him if he felt he should be disqualified?
Glaubst du, dass disqualifiziert werden sollen?
Ich?
Ja.
Nein, dafür muss ich nicht disqualifiziert werden sollen, weil der war nicht am Boden. Der war nur so geknickt. Der war nicht voll am Boden.
I don't have to be disqualified for this. He wasn't on the ground. He was just a little like this. I shouldn't have been disqualified for this.
He was behind in the height. He was behind in the fight. He was knocked down for the first time in his career. What happened in the fourth round when you got knocked down for the first time in your career?
Das war eine Überraschung, aber war nicht so schlimm. Ich war nicht nur gut auf meine Beine, deswegen habe ich diesen Schlag nicht gemerkt. Schau mal, ich war nicht gut auf die Beine. Guck mal.
It was just not good on my feet. I was off balance. It wasn't a bad knockdown.
War nicht so eine Knockdown. Ich war nicht so richtig auf meine Beine, deswegen.
I didn't have good balance.
You were way behind in this fight. Were you surprised that Dirrell was beating you seemingly with the ease that he did?
Du lagst nach Punkten deutlich hinten. Warst du überrascht, so weit zurückzulegen, dass es Dirrell scheinbar einfach so gelungen ist?
Deswegen wollte ich ihn KO. Yeah, I know. He win with points. I wanted only KO, no more. And I have my KO. I have no problem. He say he go down.
So you're saying it was an accident. You didn't realize that he was going down. Let's take a look at it as we can take a look at, here is the end of the fight. Tell us from your vantage point what you feel is going on here, Arthur.
I see. Yes. I not see he's so. I cannot see.
Is that because your eye, the cut in your eye, you couldn't see or you couldn't see?
He's a good Schauspieler. Wie heißt das?
He's a good actor.
He's a good actor. He's not boxer. He's a good actor.
Well, he certainly wasn't acting when he was knocked out. He still doesn't know where he is. So you think he's acting now?
He's not a good actor. He's a good boxer. Give him credit for
No, he's a good actor.
Give him credit.
No.
This is Gary Shaw now. Okay. Arthur, you will now fight Carl Froch as the tournament continues. That will be your next fight, and you do not have now the commanding lead that you would have had you won this fight. How will you reassess where you are in this tournament?
Wie stehst du jetzt da nach diesem Kampf? Als nächstes gegen Carl Froch. Jetzt hast du nicht die große Führung, die du vorher hattest. Wie geht's jetzt weiter?
Also jetzt kann ich jetzt nicht auf diesen Moment nicht sagen. Wir müssen jetzt mal uns hinsetzen und überlegen, was alles passiert ist. Jetzt alles durcheinander. Ich kann nicht so viel sagen.
I can't really say it right now. We have to sit down and analyze and look at actually what has been happening. So it's all a bit chaotic right now, but we need to sit down and well, analyze it from there.
Thank you, Arthur. Thank you. All right, let's go back to Steve Albert.
All right, Jim, during the interview with Jim Gray, Andre Dirrell was disoriented, discombobulated, obviously in need of medical attention immediately. He, I believe, actually thought, Antonio, that he had been knocked out.
I feel the same way, and it kind of unnerved me a little bit. He needs to be taken to the hospital and for observation just to make sure that everything is working accordingly. I feel he suffered a major concussion tonight, and we're going to have to see can he bounce back. But I will say this, the Super 6 championship, man, it shows us all these fighters' weaknesses and strength. Now we know how to beat Arthur Abraham.
And speaking of Abraham, that was obviously sour grapes because it was readily available and obvious on the replay that he hit him when he was down.
So I think somewhere in his thinking was the idea that at first he was suggesting that if a guy just goes down on his own, you can hit him. He was suggesting that, and of course that's not the case. And then when he looked at that replay, I think he understood, despite his protestations to the contrary. And you know, Arthur Abraham is a very, very likable, interesting man who's a warrior. He doesn't do himself a service when he talks like this.
But we've never seen him in this position.
Correct. You're absolutely.
He's lost, right?
That's my point. He's not acting like that.
All right, Al and Antonio. So let's check the updated Super 6 World Boxing Classic standings. Oh, how it's tightened up all of a sudden. Abraham with 3, Carl Froch, Andre Ward, Andre Dirrell, all tied with 2 apiece, and right on the heels of Arthur Abraham. Of course, Kessler and Green with 0.
And what this does is tighten up the whole tournament because now nobody's got, at least at this point, he doesn't have 5 points that he's looking at this juncture.
It's everybody's championship now.
All right, we're standing by, hopefully, to get some further reports backstage on the condition of Andre Dirrell. Final impressions, Al?
Well, 2 things. First of all, Andre Dirrell boxed superbly this evening, as well as he could possibly box. Arthur Abraham did himself a disservice by taking away the chances that he had for victory, and what it does is completely change the dynamic of this tournament right now.
Boy, that's a stunned look on the face of Arthur Abraham. Never in this position before. We said it earlier, Antonio, during the ring walk. He didn't know what it felt like to lose. Well, now he does.
Yes, he did. He has a taste of defeat. And it's how he tastes, how he likes that taste, is how he'll come back more focused the next time around. But I want to take my hat off to Andre Dirrell. He went to Carl Froch's hometown. He didn't get the victory, but he came back here tonight focused and ready. And I knew he had the natural ability to get this victory, and he fought a disciplined fight. And my hat goes off to Team Dirrell.
As we said earlier, it was almost like the perfect blueprint to fight Arthur Abraham.
Yes, you have to move. You have to let him open himself up for counter punches. And, you know, after a while of chasing the guy, you'll get a little frustrated. And that showed tonight. Arthur Abraham got frustrated. He lost his head, and he got himself disqualified.
Well, we said earlier, 2 guys who personify the spirit of the Super 6 World Boxing Classic. We certainly had spirit, emotion, and drama here tonight.
And you know what this speaks to? It speaks to what we thought at the beginning, that any of these 6 fighters could beat anybody on any given night, and we have to remember that.
All right, now let's go back to Jim Gray for a report.
Okay, we're back here in Andre Dirrell's dressing room, and he is being tended to by the ringside physicians and by other physicians. Emergency management is now coming in. He will be taken to the hospital. They are dealing with a head injury. Andre is up right now. He seems to be, he seems to have his recognition factors back in line. He is with his uncle and his grandfather. As I turn behind me right here, he is up and walking around, so our audience can probably see. Terry, our fine photographer, can take a look. He has an ice pack on the side of his head, and he does now understand. I believe he won the fight. However, it's a little bit sketchy back in here right now, and we're just trying to ascertain the facts. Hey, Doc, can you tell us what the circumstance is?
Well, he went down hard. We think he hit his head. I was concerned that there might be some bleeding in his brain. He was very confused. He said his legs were very weak. There was a long period of time where he really didn't have any sense of where he was and what was going on.
Does he now?
Well, he's doing a bit better now, but nevertheless.
Are you concerned, or is there a problem here?
Well, we're concerned enough to make sure that we're being very, very careful about this, making sure there's no bleeding in his brain or something like that. So we're going to take him to the hospital emergency room. The EMS people are right here. This is something we planned for, so we're making sure.
We'll let you get back to Andre. Thank you, Doc, for your time. Okay, back to you, Steve.
All right, Jim, thanks very much. Boy, it's tense, anxious moments back there in the Andre Dirrell dressing room. He was very discombobulated earlier. All right, here's the judges' scores at the time of the disqualification now.
And clearly, as Guido Cavalieri, Frank Garza, and Hong Tongkom all had it for Andre Dirrell. And it was tightening up a little bit on a couple scorecards because Abraham had a couple of very good rounds. But clearly, Dirrell had this fight in control at that time.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he was. I think it was a combination. He was disorganized by the blow that he took to the head, but also frustrated by the DQ.
And there's the unofficial scoring by the press row. Only Jorg Lubritsch from the Berlin newspaper had it fairly close at 96-93. George Kimball and Marvin Goodwin all by a large margin.
Yeah, including a 10-8 round in round 4 in which he dropped Abraham for the first time in his career with a nice straight left hand, sort of a balance shot, but it also had some clout behind it.
You know, the victory was sweet, but I don't think Andre Dirrell is out of the woods yet. So we're going to keep him in our prayers and hope for the best. He said, the doctor said that it could be some swelling on his brain. That's serious business, and we just want to hope that everything goes well.
So don't forget more Group Stage 2 action April 24th from Herning, Denmark, as England's Carl Froch defends his WBC super middleweight crown against former world champion Mikkel Kessler. It's all on the line for the Danish fighter who hopes to keep his Super 6 title dreams alive.
The biggest question for the champion, Carl Froch. Can he take away Dirrell's confidence?
It was quite a steady night's work for me, to be honest.
Closing in.
One of my easiest nights. When I realised what he was up to, I knew I was going to have to make the fight dirty and rough, so I took it to him. Fight's a fight.
Froch's got to make this thing ugly now.
At the end of the day, I'm still champion.
Tonight, Mikkel Kessler favored in this tournament versus American Andre Ward.
The first 2-3 rounds, I did okay.
The man we thought was the supreme European is having the most trouble.
And then I started to fight his fight.
Kessler hasn't done the things that he's capable of doing.
I couldn't recognize myself in that fight. I was in another place, I wasn't there.
Mikkel Kessler's not fought anybody like me. He's coming off the back of a loss, so he's trying to reinvent himself.
I made a lot of changes here. This is my most intense camp ever.
I just got to maintain my form and keep winning. I think if anyone's got anything to prove, it's Mikkel Kessler.
This fight is everything for me.
I'd look forward to another easy night's work.
And a final reminder, coming up April 24th, a Super 6 Battle of Europe, Froch versus Kessler. For more information about all upcoming Showtime sports events, we invite you to visit our website at sports.show.com. That's sports.sho.com. Tonight from Joe Louis Arena in Detroit, Andre Dirrell won by disqualification. The local favorite did not disappoint his hometown fans, rebounding from his first loss and throwing himself right into tournament contention. Just like that, we have a dogfight for the lead in the Super 6. Dirrell hands Abraham his first defeat. Let's just hope Andre Dirrell is okay. That'll do it for this edition of the Super 6 World Boxing Classic. For Al Bernstein, Antonio Tarver, Jim Gray, and our entire crew, Steve Albert saying so long from the Motor City.